Hey, I wanted to jump on and just give you an overview of my primary economics unit. This is a unit that I created for my own classroom back in 2013, and it's gone through a number of iterations, and I just did a major overhaul of this entire unit. And so I'm excited to share with you what all is included. So if you already own this unit, you actually will get all of the updates for free, which is one of the benefits of buying things on TPT because you do have access and updates for life. But let me jump on and share with you what all you can find. So when you buy this from TPT, you'll get a zip file, and you'll want to make sure to extract all the files so that you can easily open everything. I've tried to number everything so that it's super easy for you. All of the Google links are in here so that you can easily find that all in one page and just download all of the digital aspects. But I've put together detailed lesson plans that I want to share with you. Let me pull this up here. Okay, so the lesson plans, I've got a kind of an overview for you of all of the materials that are included in here because there's so much. I wanted to make sure it was clear how you use the different materials and then the overview. So each lesson, this is just a big kind of scope and sequence. So when you are trying to get your things pulled together, you know what the objective is for each lesson and the materials that you will need. So I've tried to make that pretty clear. There are 9 detailed lessons, and all of these are aligned to the Washington State Social Studies standards. But you know what? There are so many different, these standards really crosswalk to so many different state standards. But okay, so each lesson, you'll have the objective, the things that you'll need, the introduction, and then each parts, like if there's a guided practice or an independent activity and a review, and then every single lesson has a home connection that can really make this even more applicable to everyday life. And so all of the lessons are in here in this file for you. Okay, so let me jump into the next one. So within this, there's an All About Economics book, and there's 3 different ones. So the All About Economics, this one here is a PDF, but you can also access this on Google Slides if you wanted. And this is the same as the booklet that your students will work through. So this is a full page, but if you wanted to use the Google version, you can see. So it goes through all of the key concepts, goods, services, wants, and needs. What is a producer? And so I also have in here more of an ink saver version. So if you wanted to just, save on some ink there. But then you have 2 versions. So I have a student booklet and then a mini book. So this is set up that you wanted to do just a small booklet. You can do that. There's the small booklet that is in fill in the blank. So your students can fill in as you go over the booklet. Or you can go down, I'm going to scroll down here. There's just the reader. So you could use this in your small groups. You could just put this out as a reader that you could send home with your students even. So there's several options there. So you have the mini book. This is just print, double-sided, split down the middle, super easy prep. And then the student booklet is the same thing, but it's in full size. So if you wanted to do this same one with the fill in the blank, but it's a full page. So you kind of have some options of what makes the most sense for your printer. So each section has example slides. So I'm looking here at number 4. You have a wants and needs. That's the first thing that you'll go over. There's wants and needs example slides. And these, again, you could use the Google Slides version. So these are examples of needs. I'm going to scroll down really fast here. Examples of wants. So you give your students some real life examples. And you don't have to do this with the lesson plans that I've laid out. If you already have a resource or lessons, you could just use some of these materials to supplement what you already have. So this is the wants and needs examples. I'm going to jump down. There's a goods and services, which is the same thing. So you've got the goods and services. Again, it's like real life, examples of services. This construction worker provides a service by installing new buildings and roads. All right. And then you also have consumer and producers, same thing. So you've got examples. for each one. And then when you go through, I have principal activities that go with each section and scenario cards. So the principal activities can be used in lots of different ways. You can use these as guided practice, as independent practice. You could use these as part of an assessment or an extension. So there's lots of different graphic organizers. The cost versus benefit is one of the lessons. Your students can create a savings plan, and all of these are included, laid out in the lesson plans. But the scenario cards, let me just give you an example here of these ones here. So there's scenario cards for different types of things. So this is a money, spending, and savings scenario cards. So just really applies this to your students' real life. You know, Mindy is saving for a new doll. She gets $5 for her birthday, but she really wants to buy some candy at the store. What should she do? There's obviously lots of different answers because there's cost versus benefit, and each person gets to make their own choice with how they would spend their money. This one, Trey has enough money to buy a skateboard, but he doesn't have enough money to buy a helmet. What should he do? So you can come up with lots of creative things. Maybe the helmet is borrowing one from a friend. You know, maybe he waits until he has enough money to buy the skateboard and the helmet. So these scenario cards are a really great way to have different discussions with your students. There's also activities that could be used independently, or you could do in your stations. So if you have a station work, let me pull this up here. So like this one here, there's a T-chart for goods and services. And then either there's the word cards that your students would cut out and place in the correct category, or I also have picture cards too. So you could use these as a cut and paste. You could use this as an assessment. You could use this in your literacy centers, but this is the small version. And then there's also, you can see big cards. So you can cut these out and use these in your stations if you wanted to have bigger picture cards. So there's several different options for you. I just wanted to make it as versatile as possible. All of the clip art images, I made a major update on those. The ones I had, obviously, from 2013, things have changed and things were a little more, bringing things up to modern clip art. There's also in here several reading passages, what is a producer, and consumer rights and responsibilities. This one here, what is a producer? The goal with this is to help your students understand that producers are all around us, and producers have skills, certain skill sets. Like a video game designer is going to have certain skill sets. And within the lesson plans, you will have your students kind of do a scavenger hunt to look for different producers, things that are produced around their classroom. You can also use a backpack as an example and talk about how it was designed and all the different parts and pieces that have to come together to produce that backpack. Then there's also a consumer rights and responsibilities. And I want to point out that each of these, there's 2 different levels in all of the reading passages. So like this one is really focused on helping students understand that when they buy an item, they want to make sure they're reading the labels, that they are asking a store clerk if there's questions, and that there's responsibilities in making sure they keep a receipt, or they know if a policy is final sale only, and those sorts of things. So that's the reading passages there. And then again, there's little scenario cards that go with these so that your students can spend some more time really like diving into these different concepts. And all of the lesson plans are detailed in that. And the mini books, again, that I pointed out, you'll use those along the way to fill in as you get more in depth. So it starts out pretty simplistic and it gets more in depth into where your students are learning more about money and saving and what is a budget within the different activities that are here. There's also a quiz that is completely editable. This is set up in PowerPoint, so it's 2 pages, but you can totally change this. I want to just give you options, and again, then all the Google Earth or all of the Google links are here for you. But I just wanted you to know, like, I really want to make sure that teachers have the tools that they need. All of the lesson plans are detailed. And I've tried to make it as clear as possible as to how you can use this effectively in your classroom. Of course, you can modify and change however, makes sense to you. But yeah, so here you go. Here's all of the lesson plans in here. This one here about saving and budgeting goes into a little bit of an example about budgeting, using the scenario of saving, spending, and sharing. And you can use that as an example. And there's some little T-chart work you can do. So yeah, everything is set up in here. Again, if you already own this, the amazing thing about TPT is you get access to all the updates. So you'll definitely want to make sure that you re-download this for free if you already own it. And it is in my TPT shop, which is Michelle McDonald. Oh, here it is, Michelle McDonald. Just my name, and you can find it in the economics section of my TPT shop. Okay, if you have questions about this, please let me know before purchasing, and you can always reach out to me directly on social media or on TPT, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.